Chapter 1721, Heavenly Dragon's Last Stand. Chapter 1721, Heavenly Dragon's Last Stand. 1 Translator. Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios. At once, Duke Long understood that this was a Genesis Lotus true inheritance. He could clearly feel his wood path attainment level rising to an extremely high level. At the same time, memories related to this wood path killer move through branches and leaves were all etched into his mind. That bamboo forest, rather than calling it an illusion, was more like a state of mind. The power of through branches and leaves killer move was to free the goo immortal of all harmful restraints. I am truly pathetic. Duke Long laughed at himself that he felt the power of a venerable once again. The truth was, he had some understanding towards the chess game of both venerables in Imperfection Regret Pavilion. This game had unparalleled might. It was one with heavenly court and could continuously draw strength from it. This was the secret agreement between star constellations Will and Limitless Demon Venerable back in the days. Because it had the power of two venerables, it could not be dealt with by a single venerable, but the silver chains on Duke Long was just made from one of the pieces in this chess game. The through branches and leaves killer move that Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable left behind was able to free Duke Long from its effect. Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable really put a lot of effort into it. It is a waste for this would path true inheritance to be given to me. Duke Long sighed as he kept away his emotions. His dragon pupils looked around as he stared at the Calamity Luck altar not too far away. Calamity Luck altar was so huge it covered half of Duke Long's vision. While Duke Long was restrained, he had been incapacitated near Calamity Luck altar. Now that he regained freedom and stood up, he was not far from it. Breathing in deeply, the sounds of the surrounding battle, explosions or shouting, became very soft as he blocked them out. While he was restrained, Duke Long's anger, guilt, and hatred filled his heart. Now that he regained freedom, these surging emotions erupted like a dormant volcano that had reawakened. Unknowingly, all the present goo immortals all had a feeling. That was the calm before a storm. Breathe out. Breathe in. Duke Long cultivated chi path with transformation path on the side. Each time he breathed, he sucked in a huge amount of oxygen. It was a great commotion. In fact, this commotion was slightly affecting the surrounding chi wall's stability. Behind Duke Long, his dragon tail waved about. His dragon claws and horns were shining in a purple-gold light. He was extremely grand and royal. Ripples started to form in the surrounding air. The particles seemed to be flickering with a similar purple-gold light that a terrifying aura was emerging in his body. He was like a catastrophic beast that created heaven and earth. After eons of slumbering, he had finally awakened. Countless gazes landed on Duke Long at this moment. Damn it. Bing Sichuan gritted his teeth. Flower Lady was unconscious while Duke Long broke free. Longevity Heaven had faced the greatest setback since they started this attack. Inside the refinement path formation, Bull Demon and 5 Elements Grandmasters sensed something amiss. They fought with all their strength. But Che Wei and Song Yin held on desperately. They did not give the enemy a chance to break through a deeper area of the refinement path formation. Yuan Xiongdu was spitting out blood. He tried hard to sustain the refinement path formation's operations. He was already resolved to die. Bing Sichuan tried hard to think of a plan. The situation was turning bad. Sweat formed on his forehead that he had already expended all his trump cards. He could not seek help from Limitless Demon Venerable again. The truth was, Limitless Demon Venerable did not even turn around earlier. His attitude was very clear. Duke Long's aura surged to its limit. It was grand and overwhelming. Even though he had not moved, he had already gained the attention of everyone. He is Lord Duke Long? Some heavenly court goo immortals looked over with admiration. Duke Long's seniority was still quite high, but someone was even older than Duke Long. An old goo immortal did not recognize him. He is one of us? Duke Long finally escaped. Fairy Ziwei was very excited. She observed the entire situation. She knew clearly that among the heavenly court immortals now, Duke Long was the strongest person. He broke the chains and recovered his freedom. He had stood up at a timely moment. Or more accurately, Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable's arrangements were simply too timely. Thinking of Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable, Fairy Ziwei felt a deep sense of admiration. Unbelievable methods. After Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable's era, Heaven Overseeing Tower had been modified countless times. Many of the goo worms were replaced. Especially during the recent decade of fighting, it had been damaged constantly and repaired afterwards. Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable's method was actually intact after all that. It was hidden so deeply that nobody found it. His Immortal Killer move could hide within Heaven Overseeing Tower, which is the #1 investigative immortal goo house in this world, remaining undiscovered. And most amazingly, Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable's Immortal Killer move had never disrupted with the workings of Heaven Overseeing Tower. Thinking of this, Fairy Z Wei had a flash of inspiration. Don't tell me that rumor is true. Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable really created Painting Path? The greatest advantage and trait of the rumored Painting Path is that it can perfectly accommodate the operations of other immortal goo and killer moves. This has the same level of profundity as sovereign immortal body's non-conflicting down marks. Fairy Z Wei could only guess. The 10 Venerables were the apex of goo cultivation. They were the brightest stars with unparalleled luster. Even though Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable did not cultivate Wisdom Path, he could comprehend the profundities of heaven and earth. He was able to make arrangements that affected the future era. And most importantly, his arrangement worked at the most crucial moment. His control of the timing was simply impeccable. Bing Sichuan was very nervous. He ordered, "Block Duke Long." Even without his reminder, all of the Northern Plains goo immortals could tell that Duke Long was a huge threat. After Duke Long's aura reached its limit, it started to condense and shrink. It was like someone who was pulling back his fist. Once he attacked, it would be a terrifying sight. This action created huge mental pressure among the Northern Plains immortals. Kill. A Northern Plains male immortal shouted as he charged at Duke Long. The second Northern Plains goo immortal was silent, but followed behind the male immortal, charging and defending him. "No, let me face him." The third Northern Plains expert suddenly moved out with great speed. He arrived before Duke Long instantly. Duke Long had a peaceful expression. He stood silently on the ground without moving, like a statue. Roar. Suddenly, a dragon roar was heard. An elegant purple-gold dragon chi appeared in the sky for an instant. The goo immortal wanted to see it, but all they saw were the remnant traces of the purple-gold dragon chi. The Northern Plains expert who arrived before Duke Long became motionless. He lowered his head, looking at the hole in his chest with an expression of disbelief. Through this hole, he could see the world behind him. The next moment, blood gushed out of his mouth as countless mini dragon-shaped chi emerged on his body. Bam! With a thud, he self-detonated, turning into a pile of flesh and blood, dying on the spot. He was a famous expert of Northern Plains, but he was unable to take one hit from Duke Long. How can this be? Seeing this, the two Northern Plains goo immortals who wanted to kill Duke Long became lost for words as their expressions changed. "What are you looking at?" Duke Long's calm voice resounded behind them. Oh no. The two Northern Plains experts activated their strongest defenses without thinking. This instinct was ingrained into their very existence. It saved their lives. The next moment, Duke Long's two ferocious dragon claws landed. The two Northern Plains experts' defenses crumbled instantly. They were like two shooting stars, crashing and creating a huge pit on the ground. With a loud boom, rocks flew as dust clouds rose. The two Northern Plains experts fainted in the pit. One Duke Long's attack was truly shocking. Instantly, he killed one and made two unconscious. Longevity Heaven lost the battle strength of 3 rank 8s just like that. Terrifying. At once, the battle strength that Duke Long unleashed stunned Heavenly Court's members. The old man who did not recognize Duke Long felt very surprised. After my time, there was actually such a talented junior. He is the master of Red Lotus Demon Venerable. He is also a Tao Guardian. The Heavenly Court goo immortal beside him explained. The old man realized, oh, no wonder. The Tao Guardians of Venerables were usually the strongest person besides the Venerable if they matured fully. Of course there were exceptions, like Reckless Savage Demon Venerable and Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable. 5. But no matter what, these Tao Guardians were monumental in the growth process of the Venerable. He's coming. Bing Sichuan breathed in deeply, concentrating his mind. After Duke Long defeated the 3 He went straight for Calamity Luck Altar. His advancement carried huge pressure as everyone looked at him with great fear at this moment. Bing Sichuan felt that even the powerful Calamity Luck Altar was showing a sign of fragility. "Protect me!" Bing Sichuan shouted. Longevity Heaven's Gu immortals quickly went back to reinforce him. Duke Long's action was the same as attacking a beehive. A large number of Longevity Heaven Gu immortals gathered and encircled him from the front and back, forming a huge web. Countless immortal killer moves landed on Duke Long. They were like fireworks that sparkled. Fatal danger was hidden within these beautiful sparks. The purple-gold dragon-shaped chi flashed again. Duke Long appeared far away. Many killer moves missed their target. The remaining killer moves were directed by the user as they changed directions. Duke Long's body flickered again. He showed disdain towards the killer moves that were targeting him. "Break!" he shouted as he used a chi path killer move. A surging chi wave erupted in all directions. All killer moves were pushed away. The surroundings were completely cleared out. The Longevity Heaven Gu immortals could only pounce towards Duke Long. "You have already attacked. Now it is time to face my killer move as well." Duke Long snickered. Longevity Heaven lost 2 more Gu immortals. Duke Long continued to approach Calamity Luck Altar. Under Bing Sichuan's manipulation, Calamity Luck Altar had no choice but to retreat rapidly. Duke Long continued to chase it. Regardless of which Northern Plains expert that was in his way, he went through their line of defense without difficulty. Of course, he would dodge the powerful killer moves as well. Shock was exposed in Bing Sichuan's eyes. Impossible. How can Duke Long become so powerful in such a short time? Is this part of Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable's method? He was wrong about this. Duke Long was strong because of himself. Immortal killer move. Heavenly Dragon's Last Stand. The lower his lifespan, the greater the amplification that Heavenly Dragon's Last Stand gave him. This amplification was in all aspects. It made Duke Long powerful beyond words. His battle strength was rising every second. His vitality was shrinking, but his aura continued to grow. This was his final battle. At the last moments of his life, Duke Long erupted with unprecedented brilliance. Chapter 1722, 7 Extreme Desolation. Translator. Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios' Heavenly Dragon's Last Stand made Duke Long increasingly stronger. With each breath of time, he became stronger than before. Looking at the phantom river of time in the sky, Duke Long showed a complex emotion in his eyes. He sighed lightly. "O Red Lotus, I have already witnessed your call of the ancient and support of the future. Now, let me show you my Heavenly Dragon's Last Stand." Duke Long's words infuriated all of the Northern Plains experts. He obviously looked down on all of the Northern Plains immortals present. There was only Red Lotus Demon Venerable in his eyes. The Northern Plains experts were all famous people in history. They had their own arrogance and pride. But they had no way of rebuking Duke Long's words, because their existence was the result of Red Lotus Demon Venerable's immortal killer move. "Old man, you speak too much. Don't look down on us. We will show you our power." Several Northern Plains rank 8s charged at Duke Long. Duke Long snickered as he roared. The purple-gold dragon-shaped chi flickered continuously. Boom, boom, boom. An intense explosion resounded. Duke Long rampaged among the Gu immortals who encircled him. He was simply unstoppable. In contrast, the Northern Plains experts were losing numbers rapidly from his ferocious attacks. Fast. Duke Long was just too fast. The Northern Plains Gu immortals could not stop him. Any killer move needed time to prepare and activate. Because Duke Long was concentrating on Calamity Luck Altar, he did not bother wasting time with the Northern Plains Gu immortals that obstructed him. Block him. Don't think of leaving Duke Long. Fight me for 300 rounds. We must stop him. Purple Gold Dragon Chi flickered again. The battlefield became silent. Bing Sichuan raised his head and looked. Duke Long was finally standing before Calamity Luck Altar. His emotionless pupils looked at this Luck Path rank 8 immortal Gu house. Oh no. Sweat poured down Bing Sichuan's forehead. The next moment, Duke Long roared as his Chi Path killer move was activated again. Myriad Chi rampaged. The world changed colors. Immortal killer move. Chi engulfing mountains and rivers. At once, the rank 8 Gu immortals shook intensely as they felt an unparalleled pressure slamming down at them from all around. Many killer moves collapsed. The Northern Plains experts who were pursuing Duke Long fell into the water like dumplings falling into a pot. The world became still. Nothing was left standing. Crack, crack. Calamity Luck Altar could barely operate. Its thin light halo was resisting Chi engulfing mountains and rivers killer move. This luck path rank 8 immortal goo house could not fly. It was suppressed by Duke Long and forced to stay on the ground. At once, Duke Long became the main character of this battlefield. The Heavenly Court goo immortals looked at him with shock and amazement. He had suppressed the entire situation. Single-handedly. Even though Northern Plains experts were strong and proud, their raised heads were forcefully lowered by Duke Long. Damn it. This Chi engulfing mountains and rivers killer move had once been used in Eastern Sea by Duke Long. But its current power is more than 10 times of before. Bing Sichuan could not conceal the shock on his face. Duke Long's strength was too overwhelming. It was far out of his expectations. This damned old man is quite strong. It seems that you need Grandpa Mao's help now. Far away, Mao Li Chiu and his clone had been suppressing the two legendary immemorial beasts from Heavenly Court. After seeing Duke Long's power, Mao Li Chiu gritted its teeth and wanted to rush over to help. You want to leave? Dream on. The immemorial green jade crane shrieked. It activated an immortal killer move and attacked Mao Li Chiu's clone. Stand there. Shabi 95 grabbed Mao Li Chiu's right hind leg as it bit. These two idiots. Mao Li Chiu was furious. It was unable to get away from these two. Heavenly Court's two legendary immemorial desolate beasts might not be able to turn the situation around, but they were great at keeping the status quo. Duke Long's power was simply like steroids injected into his allies. It made these two legendary immemorial desolate beasts extremely energetic. Go away. Calamity Luck Altar suddenly shined in a fierce light. It started to rise slowly. Next, the Northern Plains experts who were on the ground and used their killer moves on Duke Long. Even though Duke Long was strong, he could only suppress them for some time. He was not just going up against the rank 8 immortal goo house that giant sun immortal venerable created. There were also the countless experts from the Northern Plains Huang Jin tribe's history. Go assist Duke Long. We will make longevity heaven pay with bloodshed. How can Heavenly Court's authority be undermined? Heavenly Court's immortals reacted. They moved like rushing tide as they went to reinforce Duke Long. A portion of the Northern Plains experts had to go and block Heavenly Court's attacks on the outside. Inside, the remaining ones attacked Duke Long with all their might. Inside Calamity Luck Altar, Bing Sichuan's heart sank to rock bottom. Duke Long was unstoppable even in the encirclement. He had the complete advantage, and outside, there were fewer Northern Plains goo immortals than Heavenly Court's side. They were also losing there. Bing Sichuan understood. Unless a venerable makes a move, longevity heaven's invasion had failed. Their goal was to take fake goo, but now, they were barely able to stay alive, not to mention snatch anything. The truth was, longevity heaven was just one step away from success. The problem was Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable and his arrangement. It ruined longevity heaven's plan. Even though my longevity heaven failed, your Heavenly Court may not succeed either. A cold light flashed in Bing Sichuan's eyes. He gave his orders. Destroy the refinement path formation. Since they could not obtain fake goo or destroy fake goo entirely, he would make sure that they fail in restoring it. This way, Heavenly Court would need to continue holding the Central Continent Refinement Path Convention to repair fake goo in the future, and that would give the other 4 regions some respite. But in that situation, in the future Central Continent Refinement Path Conventions, Heavenly Court would guard themselves deeply. Longevity Heaven would no longer have this chance to invade. But there was no choice. The situation was forcing Bing Sichuan to make such a decision. Okay. Bull Demon and 5 Elements Grandmaster received their orders. They immediately attacked the Refinement Path Formation. Guh. Song Yin spit out a mouthful of blood. His face turned pale, but he had a faint smile as he said, "Humph. Why do you think Lady Ziwei made me guard the formation internally? It was to prevent you guys from causing destruction." Bull Demon and 5 Elements Grandmaster frowned deeply. They realized that their attacks on the Refinement Path Formation was actually transferred to Tsong Yin. This was a rule path method unique to Tsong Yin. He could transfer damage onto himself. You want to destroy the formation? How can we allow that? With us around, don't even think about it. Outside the refinement path immortal formation, Heavenly Court's Gu immortals formed lines of defense as they blocked the assault of the Northern Plains experts. Bing Sichuan changed his goal and attempted to destroy the refinement path formation. This was his enemy's weakness as well. For Heavenly Court, they had no choice but to defend the formation. This way, the battle between the two sides went into a deadlock. Most of Heavenly Court's members were protecting the refinement path formation. Duke Long alone was attacking Calamity Luck Altar. For Northern Plains, they were mainly defending Calamity Luck Altar while attacking the refinement path formation with a barrage of attacks. Even though Duke Long was obstructed by all the Northern Plains experts, he still had the energy to attack Calamity Luck Altar. Calamity Luck Altar endured attacks from Duke Long time and again, but it still remained standing. This was the immense defense of a rank 8 immortal Gu house. The truth was, Calamity Luck Altar's methods were not just limited to these. Against Duke Long, it could still retaliate. But now, Calamity Luck Altar's main purpose was to sustain Call of the Ancient killer move. If it used other methods, this Call of the Ancient would be interrupted. The root of the issue was that Call of the Ancient was a time path killer move. It was incompatible with Calamity Luck Altar's methods. If there were any abilities similar to Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable's earlier methods resembling Painting Path, the situation would not be this awkward. Bing Sichuan was clear in his heart. Once he stopped using Call of the Ancient killer move, the situation would worsen instantly. Only through this move could they resist the awakening Heavenly Court members. As time passed, the situation got more intense. More and more Gu immortals died. Duke Long's attacks from time to time made Bing Sichuan's heart shook. He did not know how long Calamity Luck Altar could last. Maybe at the next moment, Call of the Ancient killer move would stop. If that happens, Longevity Heaven would lose this battle without doubt. Even though both sides were attacking and defending, as Duke Long continued to unleash powerful moves, the situation was already changing. Heavenly Court had a slight advantage. Longevity Heaven was slowly losing their edge. Boom! A lightning path killer move landed on Duke Long's back. But Duke Long's body did not even move. As the dust cloud settled, his back was exposed. It was covered in purple gold dragon scales. As the effect of Heavenly Dragon's last stand persisted, Duke Long's body became stronger and larger. His size was already twice of before. His dragon claws became sharper. His dragon tail became longer and more flexible. His dragon horns were originally very short, but now they grew rapidly. They were the size of a deer's antlers. They looked like a crown on his head, displaying his royal and authoritative figure. Every moment and every second, Duke Long was getting stronger. Bing Sichuan, who was inside Calamity Luck Altar, as well as the Northern Plains Gu immortals, could feel this very deeply. This is a monster. A Northern Plains expert shouted in hatred. Monster? Ha! We 7 Big Dipper immortals love dealing with monsters. At this moment, from the Phantom River of Time, 7 Gu immortals walked out. Ah, it's them. Bing Sichuan saw this, becoming surprised and happy. These 7 Big Dipper immortals were all from Huangjin tribes. There were 3 rank 8s and 4 rank 7s. They were all from the same period of time in history. During their era, legendary immemorial desolate beasts wreaked havoc. They caused the righteous path to suffer great losses. Thus, the Huangjin tribes banded together and chose 7 people to learn the ancient battle formation. They spent countless years to soothe the chaos and capture the beast, returning peace and serenity to Northern Plains. Ancient battle formation, 7 extreme desolation. At once, the 7 Gu immortals turned into a 3-headed 4-armed black gold giant with a huge metallic ring on its back. Immortal killer move. Winged blade. The black gold giant's right arm moved like a blade, creating an afterimage as it slashed towards Duke Long. Winged blade. Duke Long's pupils shrunk. He could feel a fatal danger. Chapter 1723, Fatal Strike. Translator. Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios' Winged blade had very high reputation. It was publicly recognized as the #1 offensive method of Northern Plains Gu immortal world. It could even cut apart the winds of assimilation temporarily. Its fearsome might was known to all. I managed to dodge. The purple-gold dragon-shaped chi flickered as Duke Long appeared elsewhere, shock still showing on his face. Crack. At the next moment, he watched as the horn on his forehead fell slowly towards the ground in front of him, the crucial moment. Duke Long managed to dodge the winged blade, but his right dragon horn was sliced apart. Duke Long was deeply shocked, this moment. The black gold giant hooked its finger at Duke Long immortal killer move, immortal binding rope. This was the #1 capturing method in Northern Plains Gu immortal world. A green gold rope appeared on Duke Long's body. It wrapped around his waist thrice as he was pulled towards the black gold giant. Immortal killer move. Winged blade. The black gold giant raised its right arm, aiming at Duke Long as it used the powerful killer move again. Duke Long gritted his teeth. He shouted as his muscular body shook. He broke free of the immortal binding rope and retreated, avoiding the winged blade. The black gold giant wanted to capture Duke Long again, but he dodged while spitting out 2 sharp dragon fangs. The dragon fangs flew out of his mouth and expanded in size. They were like 2 curved blades that danced in the air. Defending his body. It was immortal killer move. Spiraling Dragon Fang. Spiraling Dragon Fang was an offensive killer move, but Duke Long used it for defense instead. Even though the black gold giant 7 Extreme Desolation had a powerful immortal binding rope killer move, it would be cut by the dragon fangs if it tried to bind Duke Long. Bing Sichuan watched this as he felt suspicious and regretful. The original Spiraling Dragon Fang is only an arm's size, but it is like 2 gigantic pillars now. What method did Duke Long use to make his immortal killer moves grow so powerful? It is a pity that 7 Extreme Desolation is much weaker now as Fate Gu recovers due to the decreased power of call of the ancient killer move. Otherwise, if they had their original power, Duke Long would be heavily injured from the attack earlier. 7 Extreme Desolation was an ancient battle formation made of 3 rank 8s and 4 rank 7 Gu immortals. Each of them were elites of the Huang Jin tribes in their time. They were famous in Northern Plains. And most importantly, the killer moves that they used were the trump cards of the respective tribes. For example, Chanyu tribe's Winged Blade and Yi Lui tribe's Immortal Binding Rope. With 7 Extreme Desolation restricting Duke Long's attacks, the situation went into a deadlock again. Calamity Luck Altar was temporarily safe, but Longevity Heaven's Side could not destroy the Refinement Path formation no matter what they did. Heavenly Court had 3 layers of Gu immortals both inside and outside. They formed a tight defense. The Northern Plains experts could not even get close to the formation, not to mention getting inside. In fact, Gu immortals were already starting to set up new defensive formations outside the Refinement Path immortal formation. This looks like a deadlock, but the initiative has been lost. At this rate, Heavenly Court will simply continue the battle of attrition. Bing Sichuan had a cold expression, but determination still shined in his eyes. Northern Plains Gu immortals loved to fight. They had countless battles in their life, far more than other regions' people. Bing Sichuan was a time path rank 8 great expert. He was the same. He had experienced countless difficulties in life. Even though the situation was increasingly dangerous now, his fighting spirit did not waver. He was trying to find a way out. The plan to invade Heavenly Court had been closely planned by my Longevity Heaven. We have our methods to retaliate. For now, we need to communicate with Fang Yuan and the rest to target the outside world instead. Bing Sichuan immediately contacted Fang Yuan and the rest, giving his orders. Luck Path method again. They are communicating with the outside world. The moment Bing Sichuan acted, a few of Heavenly Court's members sensed it. Fairy Zi Wei smiled bitterly. The supreme profundity of Luck Path was held by Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. Heavenly Court could not stop Bing Sichuan. Emperor City. Fang Yuan had activated Emperor Yama killer move as he flew rapidly in the sky. Winds blew around him. In his vision, Li Huang and Qing Yi were like 2 torches that charged towards him in the darkness. Fang Yuan stretched out his finger. Countless Yama children flew out to obstruct Li Huang and Qing Yi. Next, he attacked the closest immortal Gu house. The Gu immortals inside that immortal Gu house were shocked. They quickly retreated. Fang Zheng quickly used that move. A Gu immortal shouted. Jiu Fang Zheng was also inside this Gu house. He immediately acted as the immortal Gu house shot out a bloodlight that moved it with several times the speed. causing Fang Yuan to miss his target. Using this chance, Li Huang and Qing Yi arrived and fought against Fang Yuan again. The Western Desert Gu immortals could not take it as they mocked. This is clearly a blood path method. The Great Righteous Path Heavenly Court is actually using blood path killer moves in public. Right now. Bullshit. My central continent has unfathomable methods. How can you fools understand what we are doing? Western Desert Scoundrel. You are jealous of my central continent's wealth. This is slander towards the righteous leader of humanity. This is unacceptable. How could central continent's Gu immortals acknowledge it, even though most of them knew that this was Fang Zheng's blood path methods after all? Damn it. Fang Yuan gritted his teeth. Li Huang and Qing Yi were too annoying. He felt like he was stuck in a swamp to in this current situation. His best method was Great Thief Ghost Hand. Using this move, he could destroy many of the immortal Gu houses of Heavenly Court. But Li Huang and Qing Yi were disturbing him. He did not have a chance to succeed. But Western Desert was also very wary of him. They did not want to cooperate. Fang clan had a secret cooperation with Fang Yuan, but how could they expose that? In public right now, Fang clan had obtained Divine Bean Palace years ago, and that caused Western Desert's Righteous Path to gang up on them. They were keeping a low profile now. Using this refinement path convention as a chance, they made an agreement with Western Desert's Righteous Path forces. If they worked with Fang Yuan now, they would be giving the Righteous Path forces more excuses to suppress them afterwards. This is not looking good. The competition is nearing its end. Fang Yuan had participated in the Refinement Path Convention before. He was clear of the situation now. Most importantly, why are those fools from Longevity Heaven not doing anything? At this moment, Bing Sichuan contacted Fang Yuan. Towards Fang Yuan, he would naturally not use an authoritative tone, but Bing Sichuan knew how to convince Fang Yuan. He told him everything regarding Longevity Heaven's invasion of Heavenly Court. These were all truths. They had no loopholes. Bing Sichuan did not hide or make up anything because he knew about Fang Yuan's wisdom path attainment. These bunch of snakes. Fang Yuan learned about what happened in Heavenly Court as brilliance flashed in his eyes. He gritted his teeth in anger. He made use of Longevity Heaven and treated Bing Sichuan and the rest as pawns. Was it not the same in reverse? Longevity Heaven had their own goals. Right now, they were being truthful because they wanted Fang Yuan to cause chaos and prevent Heavenly Court from repairing fake Gu fully. Inside Heavenly Court, Longevity Heaven was only able to stabilize the situation and stall. Heavenly Court's experts, they had no chance of winning. But if Fang Yuan destroyed Emperor City and ruined the competition, Heavenly Court's human path methods would be stopped. They would not be able to take success down marks from infallible blessed land. Without success down marks, how could Yuan Xiongdu dare to repair fake Gu? This was the only chance of victory. Breathing in deeply, a cold light flashed across Fang Yuan's eyes. Even though he knew that Longevity Heaven was making use of him, this open scheme was in line with his own benefits. He had to do it. Activating his immortal killer move, Fang Yuan moved like a phantom as he dashed around with shocking speed. Everywhere he went, Heavenly Court's immortal Gu houses avoided him. Because of Fang Yuan, the defensive line of Heavenly Court was in complete chaos. It was a pity that at this time, Western Desert's immortal Gu houses were all restricted by Heavenly Court. They also had no motivation to go all in. They were unable to make a breakthrough. Li Huang and Qing Yi arrived again and interrupted Fang Yuan. Usually at this time, while Fang Yuan was busy with Li Huang and Qing Yi, Heavenly Court's defensive line would be reformed. But it was different now. Fang Yuan roared, turning into the immemorial year monkey. Immortal killer move, spring scissors. Immortal killer move, summer fan. Be it spring scissors or summer fan. Fang Yuan aimed at the Emperor's city below. This made Li Huang and Qing Yi's expressions change. Be careful, Demon Fang Yuan is going all in. Stop him. Li Huang and Qing Yi's killer moves landed on Fang Yuan. Winter Coat killer move resisted them with difficulty. Rank 8 Immortal Essence was expended rapidly. All the immortal Gu houses flustered. They tried to defend Emperor City by blocking the attacks. Using this chance, Western Desert's immortal Gu houses attacked. Fang Yuan ignored everything. He focused his killer moves on Emperor City. Winter Coat killer move was finally unable to hold on. It broke with a loud sound. Fang Yuan's flesh was torn and his bones broke from countless attacks. Fang Yuan forcefully activated Winter Coat Killer move, disregarding the damage to the core immortal goo or his injuries. But the core immortal goo of Winter Coat Killer move was already damaged. Now that it was used, the defensive power was much weaker. It continued to get broken by attacks. Eventually, Immortal Goo Winter succumbed to its injuries and got completely destroyed. Fang Yuan was no longer able to use Winter Coat. He lost his main defensive method. Thankfully, the immemorial year monkey had a strong body to begin with. Fang Yuan also used many time path methods that were better than nothing. Fang Yuan's relentless attacks had some great effect. Emperor City was shaking. The Goo Masters who were in the competition got disrupted as their refinement failed. What happened? The entire city is shaking. The Goo Masters were shocked and uncertain. The Central Continent Goo Immortals who were inside Emperor City quickly made their move. Protect these Goo Masters. Don't let them die. These people are blessed by Central Continent's human path luck. They are people with great fortune. If many of them die, our luck will not be able to resist Demon Fang Yuan. It turned out that Heavenly Court's arrangements also considered the element of luck. Even though Heavenly Court did not have too much confidence in Luck Path, they could use this rough method to eliminate Fang Yuan's advantage in Luck Path. A chance. Fang Clan's Immortals. The best opportunity is before us. Inside Immortal Goo House Chicken Dog Coop, Fang Clan's rank 7 Goo Immortal shouted as his eyes shined. Kill. Chicken Dog Coop was manipulated by Fang Clan's Goo Immortals. They crashed towards Emperor City while moving extremely close to the ground. Heavenly Court's attention was completely drawn to Fang Yuan. If Chicken Dog Coop used an immortal killer move, it would be detected. They would lose the chance as Heavenly Court would return to defend the city. But now, Chicken Dog Coop gave up on all methods. They charged directly without reservation. They had used their time optimally. Oh no. Li Huang, Qing Yi, and the rest were pale with shock. Undoubtedly, Chicken Dog Coop chose the best timing to attack. At this moment, Heavenly Court could only watch as it crashed into Emperor City. Even though they had several immortal killer moves, there was too little time. They did not have enough power to stop Chicken Dog Co-op close. They were close. The Goo Masters in Emperor City were still unaware, while Li Huang and the other Goo Immortals had looks of despair. The fatal attack was going to land. Chapter 1724, Heroes Among People. Translator, Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios Heavenly Court Battlefield. The front lines were extremely chaotic. The Heavenly Court Immortals led by Duke Long fought against Northern Plains members in close range. But because of the Qi Wall, it was very peaceful at the back. Fairy Ziwei was managing the situation, paying attention to all the battles at once. When Chicken Dog Coop was about to hit Emperor City, Fairy Ziwei's heart tightened. Senior Zheng Yuan, quickly save Emperor City. She made her decision in an instant. She shouted with an unavoidably nervous expression. Old man Zheng Yuan nodded lightly. Don't worry, we have enough human will now. My mission is about to be completed. Open. At once, old man Zheng Yuan's body shook intensely as his immortal essence surged. Blood flowed out of his 7 orifices that he cultivated human path, but he was only rank 7. It was hard for him to be the key that activated the human path methods. Each attempt was excruciating beyond his limit, but old man Zheng Yuan had never shown any bitterness on his face. Right now, he had a blissful expression as he completed his task. After the killer move People's United Hearts, a new human path method, left by the immortal Venerable was activated. Emperor City Battlefield. Crush them all. Fang Clan's Goo Immortal laughed loudly as his expressions turned ruthless. In his field of vision, Emperor City was getting closer. As long as they destroyed it, it would be a grand achievement. Not only would the Goo Immortal himself be famous throughout the 5 regions, the entire Fang clan would benefit. Their reputation would rise. They would be the role model of Western Desert's righteous path force. Good. Fang Yuan saw this and cheered internally. He had a gut feeling that if this attack succeeds, he would benefit greatly from it. Fang Yuan's wisdom path attainment was high. These kinds of feelings were very reliable. But his luck path attainment level was inferior. He could not sense if luck path contributed to this feeling. However, a change occurred right at this moment that a faint white light flashed on Emperor City for a moment. This white light appeared and disappeared just as quickly. For some reason, Chicken Dog Coop's ferocious aura vanished. It was still charging, but it could not intimidate anyone anymore. The earlier Chicken Dog Coop was like an advancing warship, but now, it was a damaged boat without anybody steering it. It was moving with the waves. Next, under everyone's shocked gaze, Chicken Dog Coop started to break apart and disintegrate. Countless shards scattered with the wind that it continued to break apart like an old house. Amidst the ferocious winds, it was torn apart piece by piece that a large number of goo worms scattered. Even more goo worm corpses fell onto the ground. One moment ago, the Fang clan goo immortal with great morale and determination became completely silent. Even though the remaining Fang clan goo immortals were still shouting now. A bad feeling emerged in the hearts of the Fang clan goo immortals. Soon, the answer arrived. From the broken Chicken Dog Coop, corpses fell out one by one. They were the Fang clan goo immortals inside who were still lively a moment ago. How could this happen? Fang clan's goo immortals shouted in shock. They called these goo immortals by their names, but there was no response. What killer move is this? With just one hit, the immortal goo house broke apart, and not a single goo immortal inside survived. Even Fang Yuan's expression changed in horror. Even in the 500 years of his previous life, such a thing had never happened. This was the foundation of Central Continent's heavenly court. Fang Yuan and the Western Desert goo immortals had finally forced them to use it. After all, in the previous life, spectral soul demon Venerable succeeded in defying heaven. He managed to infiltrate heavenly court and prevented such a battle from occurring. Of course, the issue could also be Fang Yuan's own memories. He was once manipulated by heaven's will as a chess piece. He had used spring-autumn cicada many times. The memories he had were not entirely reliable. This is a mortal killer move. Broken homes and dead family. Li Huang's eyes shined with light. He was extremely excited. He looked at the sky as he thought to himself, "It seems that the human will has already been accumulated sufficiently." Sensing this, Li Huang gained an immense confidence in this battle that he shouted as his voice resounded in the battlefield. "Everyone, what are you waiting for? Heavenly Court has already acted. It is time for us to counterattack. That's right. Let these invaders taste the power of our central continent." Qing Yi added, the next moment. All over the territory of Central Continent, countless white lights started to emerge. These white lights were like specks or balls. They resembled countless lanterns. Each were as large as dandelions. They floated casually with the wind, rising up and covering the sky. What killer move is this? Western Desert's goo immortals were wary and uncertain. Fang Yuan turned into Emperor Yama form. He used soul path killer moves to defend himself. Now that winter coat was destroyed, Fang Yuan could only rely on his soul path defensive killer moves. He stood among the sea of white lights. This scene also made him rather uncertain. He tried to probe them carefully. But these white light spots did not have offensive power. They were like illusions. None of Fang Yuan's methods worked. Even though this immortal killer move was grand and affected the whole of Central Continent, it did not have any offensive power. Next, these lights moved like fish, or birds returning to their homes, landing in all of the Central Continent goo immortals. The Central Continent goo immortals became covered in more and more white light specks. They were not too flaring. Instead, the light was warm and mild. This did not just happen in Emperor City battlefield. It was occurring in Heavenly Court, Infallible Blessed Land, and all other parts of the continent. This was human path killer move. Hope of the people. People's united hearts and broken homes and dead family were primordial origin immortal venerables human path methods. But hope of the people and the following move were star constellation immortal venerables gains from exploring human path. Inside Heavenly Court, Old Man Zheng Yuan shouted again. Human path killer move. Heroes among people. The white lights surrounding the Central Continent goo immortals started to shrink, while the goo immortals' auras started to grow. Their auras changed. What is going on? Seeing this, goo immortals of the other four regions were very perplexed. So strong, such strong power. Central Continent's goo immortals had an incredible feeling. Their bodies were surging with new strength. This strength was so grand and vast, it felt like an endless tide, sweeping through their bodies and minds constantly. All their fatigue was gone. Their minds were clear. Their fighting spirit also rose sharply. This situation was most evident in Li Huang. Fairy Wei, Chun Yi, and the rest. Retreat. Quickly retreat, stop attacking. Let's observe the situation first. The Western Desert immortal Gu houses retreated. This scene had truly shocked them. Fang Yuan squinted his eyes, but attacked at this moment. He wanted to probe them using an offensive method. Yama children flew out towards Li Huang, and Qing Li Huang breathed in deeply, snickering as the verdant sun flame cloak expanded rapidly on his back by several times its original size, blazing with strong flames. Before the Yama children got close, they were incinerated into nothingness. Demon, take this. Li Huang attacked as Fang Yuan defended himself. After several rounds, Fang Yuan was greatly astounded. This human path killer move amplified Li Huang's battle strength by at least 3 times as before. This was not the amplification of Dao marks. Dao mark amplification affected the power of immortal killer moves, but heroes among people targeted the Gu immortal themselves. At rank 8, double amplification was already terrifying. For example, Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable's perfect pair killer move could create a clone that had the same battle strength as the user. It could be considered a double amplification, but this heroes among people was at least triple in amplification. And most shockingly, it did not just affect Li Huang, it affected countless Central Continent Gu immortals. Hope of the people together with heroes among people. This was the power of 2 rank 9 killer moves used together. It was like Red Lotus Demon Venerable's Call of the Ancient and Support of the Future, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's set of killer moves, Hope of the People and Heroes Among People, also had terrifying power that shocked the world. An even worse situation had arrived. Central Continent's immortal Gu houses started to shine in white light as well. The effect of heroes among people was also working on immortal Gu houses. This was because immortal Gu houses were immortal killer moves in essence, used by Gu immortals. Since heroes among people could amplify other immortal killer moves, immortal Gu houses were naturally part of this range. Central Continent received a great boost. They were at least 3 times as strong as before. This was a proud moment. When Gu immortals fight, numbers were not always an advantage. Because Gu immortals often lack cooperation, the Dao marks of different paths conflicted. 1 plus 1 was often smaller than 2. That if Gu immortals wanted to fight together, they would usually control the same immortal Gu house or be the formation cores of immortal formations. But in this aspect, Gu immortals were mostly just providing immortal essence or repairing immortal Gu houses and formations. That was all they had to do. Compared to this, ancient battle formations had a clear advantage. Even though it was outdated already, it could unleash the potential of the individual Gu immortals. There was a lot to learn from be either immortal Gu formations or immortal Gu houses. They had fixed killer moves that were prepared beforehand, so their methods did not vary. But ancient battle formations were different. They could use the methods that Gu immortals had. Even amplifying them when used in ancient battle formation was truly able to unite the strength of many Gu immortals together. In an intrinsic method, this was also why 7 Extreme Desolation could resist Duke Long and leave him without options. It was because the 7 Gu immortals using it had combined their strength. 1 plus 1 was more than 2. From this aspect, heroes among people was even more profound than perfect pair, because perfect pair could only create 1 clone with the same battle strength as the user. But heroes among people directly amplified the main body by at least 3 times as before. The strength of the main body was more valuable than gaining a clone of similar power. Pressure intensified. Western Desert's Gu immortals were forced to retreat by Central Continent's forces. Fang Yuan, where do you think you're going? Die here. Li Huang and Qing Yi attacked Fang Yuan. He had to resist while retreating. The amplification of heroes among people was in all aspects. The 2 rank 8s became much faster now. They could advance and retreat at will. They had the initiative now. Chapter 1725, For Dragon Generals. Translator, Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios Emperor City Battlefield. After an intense battle while moving around, Fang Yuan started to discover some facts. Such a powerful killer move like heroes among people was simply heaven-defying, but it was not costless. The white light on Li Huang and Qing Yi had been weakening continuously. It was rapidly expended, but at the same time, the white light was being replenished. The white light in the sky was at a vast amount. It seemed limitless as it continued to pour into Li Huang and Qing Yi. Fang Yuan tried to counter it many times, but there was no effect. The weakness of this human path killer move is very obvious. Fang Yuan had countless ideas. His mind was like a storm that rapidly produced new thoughts. We just need to destroy the white lights in the sky, that's all. Without these lights, Li Huang and Qing Yi would not be replenished. As the battle drags on, the amplification will vanish. But I do not have a method that targets these lights. Fang Yuan tried many times, but regrettably, he could not even target these white lights at all. This required an understanding of human path. Human path had always existed. In fact, because of the legends of Rinzhu, it was likely the first existing path of human cultivation history. But Gu immortals who could truly master human path were few, even throughout history. Only those geniuses with unparalleled talent could interpret bits and pieces of it. These comprehensions were often scattered and meager. In most cases, they were merely a set of killer moves. Like Red Lotus Demon Venerable's Call of the Ancient and Support of the Future, or Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's Heroes Among People and Hope of the People. Fang Yuan did not have such methods. Even the Western Desert Gu immortals present had no such methods. Throughout this entire Central Continent Refinement Path Convention, Fang Yuan was losing because of the human path aspect. If it were other paths, with Fang Yuan's deep foundation, he could deal with it. But human path was simply foreign to him. Not just him, most Gu immortals in this world were unfamiliar with it. Thus, once human path methods were used, the effects were tremendous. For example, Longevity Heaven's Call of the Ancient, or Heavenly Court's Heroes Among People. It seems that I need to read the Legends of Rinzhu more often and comprehend the profundities of human path from it. Without human path methods, it is really difficult to deal with Heavenly Court. 1 inch during the 5 regions chaotic war, all the super forces will at least have some human path methods too. My foundation in this aspect is truly lacking. Fang Yuan realized this. Fang Yuan's battle strength was very high already. There were many reasons for this. He had always been trying to raise his battle strength through all means possible. In terms of pure battle strength, he was already standing at the top ranks of this Gu immortal world that in terms of resources, Fang Yuan acquired them from many means. And because of Sovereign Immortal Aperture's usefulness, he was self-sufficient. He was able to feed his many immortal Gu and also earn some revenue. But currently, he did not have the finances to refine a rank 8 immortal Gu. He needed time and accumulation. But Fang Yuan's shortcomings still existed, and there were many of them. He had quasi-supreme attainment level in refinement path and time path. His theft path was great grandmaster, blood path, strength path, transformation path, wisdom path, star path were also quite good. But in terms of poison path, dream path, space path, sword path, and others, he lacked the foundation in them. These were all weaknesses. The same went for human path that Li Huang and Qing Yi were amplified by Heroes Among People, becoming able to suppress Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan did not want to give up. He could only go on the defensive. Heavenly Court's immortal Gu houses started to attack, encircling Western Desert's immortals, as well as the immortal Gu house that by Ning Bing and the rest were. In Heavenly Court's immortal Gu houses gained a surge in battle strength. They were not afraid of these enemies' immortal Gu houses escaping. Hidden Dragon Cave Battlefield, soon. Song Chi Yuan had a heated gaze. He stared at the rank 8 immortal Gu House Dragon Palace as he continued to refine it. Along with him, there were the other rank 8 Gu immortals of Eastern Sea. Qing Yuan, Hua Kai Yun, Shun Song Shang, Zhang Yin, Granny Rome, Shi Miao, and Yang Zihe. These Gu immortals cooperated and refined Dragon Palace, trying to make it their own. Even though Dragon Palace was refined by Duke Long, it was unmanned at the moment, because a portion of its power was used to suppress Di Zongshang. It could barely resist the refinement of Eastern Sea's rank 8s. Time passed. Dragon Palace was gradually refined by the Eastern Sea Immortals. Just when they were about to succeed, Eastern Sea's Immortals became increasingly alert. Be careful. We do not want to fail at the last second. That's right. I have a bad feeling for some reason. Indeed, even though we attacked this place, Heavenly Court had not sent a single reinforcement. Don't worry, that Heavenly Court is probably busy fending for themselves. They cannot spare any effort here. I'm sure they've already given up on this place. Old slave Bei Feng, go and guard the cave entrance. Kill anyone who approaches suspiciously. If Heavenly Court sends reinforcements, you cannot retreat even if you die. Shen Tsungsheng shouted. He had already enslaved Old Man Bei Feng successfully. Old Man Bei Feng had lost his freedom. He had to obey Shen Tsungsheng. He sighed bitterly as he obeyed the orders, leaving with his grandson Feng Chanzi. Feng Chanzi was Old Man Bei Feng's grandson. He only had rank 6 cultivation level and was insignificant to the Eastern Sea Immortals. After Shen Tsungsheng enslaved Old Man Bei Feng, he also enslaved Feng Chanzi. It seems that this time, Brother Shen's gains are the largest. Zhang Yin laughed. According to the alliance agreement, Dragon Palace was shared among the Immortals, but Shen Tsungsheng managed to enslave Old Man Bei Feng and his grandson. Forget about Feng Chanzi. The key was Old Man Bei Feng. He was a genuine rank 8. The only problem was that his injuries made his battle strength fall drastically. Shen Tsungsheng was silent. He knew that with his huge gains, even though the others looked calm on the outside, they had other thoughts internally, because Shen Clan had just gained a new rank 8 existence. After Old Man Bei Feng recovers, it would break the balance of the current Eastern Sea. Thinking of this, Shen Tsungsheng smiled. What can this Old Man Bei Feng do? He is old and extremely injured. He needs to spend a lot of time and energy in recuperating. It is nothing compared to Dragon Palace. He tried to devalue Old Man Bei Feng while diverting the attention of the Immortals to Dragon Palace. This Dragon Palace is able to suppress and even enslave Di Zongsheng. With it, when the 5 regions combine, we will have the power to resist the 4 other regions. He was trying to alert the other Immortals' sense of danger, to remind them that he, Shen Tsungsheng, was their ally. Their true enemies were the other 4 regions, including Central Continent. Let's observe properly. According to our deductions, Dragon Palace should have a dream path Immortal Gu in it. I hope Duke Long did not take it away. Shen Tsungsheng added. The Immortals were silent. Shen Tsungsheng made a lot of sense. His eloquence made his companions feel less envious now. Dragon Palace is basically ours now. What are we going to do now? Granny Rong asked. Once we subdue Dragon Palace, we will act together and help it enslave Di Zongsheng. After that, Song Chi Yuan pondered. Heavenly Court's reinforcements did not show up. It shows that their fight is very intense. Maybe we can help the others a little, even if it is Fang Yuan. That's right, Central Continent is the strongest among the 5 regions now. We need to weaken it. Hehe, who said that Heavenly Court has no reinforcements? A change occurred right at this moment. Zhang Yin, Granny Rong, Shi Miao, and Yang Zi he suddenly attacked, targeting Song Chi Yuan, Qing Yuan, Hua Kai Yun, and Shen Tsungsheng. How could Song Chi Yuan and the rest expect that their allies would suddenly attack them? They were all hit as they spat out blood and escaped. Rank 8 Gu Immortals had immense foundation. Their defenses were extremely thick. Even though Zhang Yin and the rest attacked by surprise, they did not kill anyone. But that was enough. Song Chi Yuan and the rest were moderately injured as they retreated away. Zhang Yin and the rest stood at the inner circle, defending Dragon Palace. Song Chi Yuan and the rest were furious and shocked. Qing Yuan shouted, Zhang Yin, are the 4 of you insane? You want to take Dragon Palace for yourselves? Zhang Yin chuckled. All 4 of us are working together. We're not trying to monopolize it. Shen Tsungsheng had a grim expression. Don't forget that we set an alliance agreement. You are breaking the agreement now. Get ready for the backlash. Yang Zi he had a plain tone but firm determination. Even if we die, we will protect Dragon Palace. You will not obtain it. Hua Kai Yun frowned instantly, saying lightly, something is wrong. Even though Zhang Yin and the rest were lone or demonic rank 8 immortals, they were still Eastern Sea people. Even though they had some conflicts with Song Chi Yuan and the other Superforces leaders, it was too strange that they would risk their lives and even be willing to die to protect Dragon Palace. Why are you doing this? Song Chi Yuan shouted. Zhang Yin and the rest started to smile creepily at the same time. Next, their bodies became taller, their hands and legs became claws, scales appeared on their skin, horns appeared on their forehead as their pupils became vertical slit pupils. Their appearances had changed drastically. Fang Yuan and the rest were deeply astounded, because these changes were similar to Duke Long's transformation. Qing Yuan could not contain his anger. You all gave up your superior statuses as humans to become these inferior variant human dragon men. What do you know? Dragon Man is the noble race, the future ruler of this heaven and earth. Humans are bound to be exterminated in this world. Zhang Yin and the rest spoke one by one. At this point, they shouted together, "We are the guardians of Dragon Palace, the 4 dragon generals." Comment Fang Yuan and the rest were shocked until they were speechless. I get it now. Hua Kai Yun had a flash of inspiration. Cold light shined in her eyes. The 4 of them were enslaved by Dragon Palace long ago. They fought against Duke Long earlier in Dragon Palace because that was their responsibility. After Duke Long took away Dragon Palace and refined it, he became their master. But this Duke Long is too crafty. He did not send them away. Instead, they stayed by our side. Heavenly Court's reinforcements had arrived long ago. They came with us.